When I was a instructor at our local community college in the Allied Health program teaching, I was fortunate enough to attend a conference that the community college provided for all instructors, and it was very enlightening. I learned that students learn in different ways. Some learn better with demonstrations. Incidentally, that's how I learned how to Travis pick, a one-on-one encounter with an instructor that taught me this. But then there are students that really appreciate visual aids, charts and diagrams, and I'll provide plenty of that tonight as well. And then there's that third group of students that learns by listening to the instructor. They absorb more from what they hear. Well, we're going to provide all three of those techniques to teach you this Travis picking pattern tonight. I want you to learn it tonight and then really practice it over the next week so that very shortly you can win that Nobel Peace Prize. Well, I don't know about that, but your life will change. You can start finger picking instead of just strumming. Add to your musical repertoire. Let's get started. I want to start by giving you three examples of Travis picking. Three pretty classic examples of Travis picking. So let's look at those so you can see what we're up against tonight. The thing I hope you were able to observe with those three examples, and if you weren't, when you go back and review it, you'll see. The right hand was just playing essentially one measure, one bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, of the same thing over and over again. And it's the left hand, the fretting hand, that changes chords, does hammer-ons and pull-offs, while the right hand is merely repeating over and over again one bar of action. Now, before we continue with the remainder of this tutorial, it would be beneficial for you to note here that the chord formations are formed, in this case, with the left hand, and the numbers of the fingers are indicated thusly. On the right side is the right hand showing the thumb, index, and middle fingers used in this Travis picking technique. All right, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, some people learn better by just having somebody demonstrate it to them, which is how I was taught it, not actually by an instructor, but a friend of mine. And here I am holding a C chord, so we're going to be working on these strings. This one we won't worry about, but any chord you hold, you simply pluck the bass note of that chord and the high E string with the middle finger. I call that a pinch, followed by, we're going to work on these top four strings now. So we pinch, then we work the inner strings of these top four strings with the thumb and the index finger, and the outers of those four strings with the thumb in the middle, followed by a pluck on the G string. That's all you have to learn. Pinch, inners, outers, G string. Pinch, inner, outer, G string. Perhaps this will make it a little easier. We're going to try a D chord now. So the bass note of the D chord is this fourth string, the D string, and then we're holding our D chord. So this is very simple. We're going to focus on the right hand now. We're just holding this D chord. And the Travis picking scheme is pluck the bass note and the high E string with the middle finger. At the same time, pinch, then work the inner strings with the thumb and the index finger, and the outer with the thumb and the middle finger, followed by a pluck on the G string to end it out. But you're always ending with that pluck on the G string. So, all right, I've got my little baritone ukulele out, but for you guitar players, stick around. I mean, the baritone uke is tuned just like your guitar in standard tuning. So, and because we're going to work on a D chord, which only involves these four strings, the first, second, third, and fourth, just like the first, second, third, and fourth on your guitar. So we're going to get to the nuts and bolts of the Travis picking pattern that you need to learn tonight. And it's based on, we're going to start by counting out the thumb beats. The thumb, this is the hallmark of the Travis picking pattern, this relentless alternating bass in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add the fingers on the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We'll add the index finger, the first one, indicated on the pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Then we can add the third finger. First the first, and now the middle finger. I want you to just play this over and over again while you're watching television. Let the muscle memory sink in. Once the muscle memory sinks in, you can play this unconsciously, which is the goal. Sometimes I like to add a pinch on the 1. You can add a finger at the same time you're playing a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then the other times you add the fingers is on the and. So sometimes I start it with a pinch. So this is with a pinch, without. Pinch, without. Pinch, without. So it's your option when you learn the Travis pick to add that pinch if you want. Leave it out if you want. You'll eventually learn how to keep this thing going too. And eventually, when you learn how to do this unconsciously, you'll learn how to add the hammer-ons and the pull-offs without much sweat. The idea is to get your muscle memory to kick in where you're not even thinking of this. You're sort of unconscious and you're just playing this. And then when you learn how to change chords quickly, everything will fall into place. D major, G7, D major, E with a D bass, A seventh, D, pull off, D seventh, pull off, course. For example, on this D chord here, the thumb is playing the alternate bass notes on the 1, 2, 3, 4, on the numbers, while the melody line is played with the fingers, the index and the middle fingers, on the ands of that 4-beat measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now the Travis picking pattern for the D chord that you're holding here now, we're not playing the two low bass strings, the E and the A, we're just working on the D, G, B, and E strings. So for this we do our pinch with the thumb on the D string and a plucking of the high E string with the middle finger at the same time. That's the pinch, followed by the thumb on the G string and the index finger on the B string, then followed by the thumb on the D string and the middle finger on the high E string, and completed with a thumb on the G string. All right, so we're holding a D chord now, and that chord involves just these strings without the two bass notes up here. So it's a pinch on the outer strings with the thumb on the bass note, middle finger on the high E string together, followed by the workings with the thumb and the index finger on the middle strings of those four, followed with a thumb and middle finger on the outer strings, and completed with a pluck on the G string. So it's pinch, inners, outers, G string, pinch, inners, outers, G string, pinch, thumb index, thumb middle, thumb. You have to practice this over and over again, real slow. But once you learn that pattern, you'll find that when you're playing your songs, when you change chords, you automatically change your bass notes and the melody line within that chord. For example, here's an example in the song Blackbird by the Beatles, where I employ Travis picking and sort of in between other finger picking techniques like bass runs or hammer-ons and pull-offs. So this is just, you don't have to Travis pick the entire song. You can throw Travis picking in between other techniques as shown here. Also, if you go to my YouTube channel and check out the song Cathy Song by Paul Simon, excuse me, my sixth string, my high E string was dead. So I just moved this whole pattern up a whole string, and I played the entire song Cathy's Song on 5 strings, utilizing the Travis picking pattern. So you might want to check that out as well. Okay, I'll admit, even though you may learn this alternating bass, Travis picking fingerstyle playing tonight, you may not win the Nobel Peace Prize tomorrow. But what will happen is your life will change immensely. Instead of strumming all your songs, you learn this pattern, and now you're a finger picker, and you can learn this tonight and hone in on it in the next week and practice it over and over again. Perseverance will bring you the speed and the increased accuracy that you need. And by practicing it, you're going to force your muscle memory to learn this so that you can do it so fluidly and almost unconsciously, which is what you're striving for, so that when you learn how to make those chord changes, it'll be very fluid and very precise. So good luck with this. Please check my YouTube channel. I have other tutorials on Travis picking that may add to this. If you're really earnest about becoming a finger picker, just give it a week. I guarantee you'll be Travis picking. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.